One of the most pleasing types of plays to a coach is, without a doubt, the assist. When two players can combine to create a good shot, it can be a work of art, a thing of beauty, a piece of ballet. The assist isn't quite as simple as player A passes to player B, who then scores. Dimes happen all over the court in all sorts of actions. Perhaps the most pleasing of them all is the alley-oop. This requires a unique skill set of accuracy and timing in order to get the ball near the rim at the right instant where the cutter can rise up and slam it through the basket. Ooping the alley combines two of the most exciting things in basketball, the slam dunk with the passing game. And it can serve to put an exclamation point on a big run or hype the team up to get them back in the game. That said, the alley-oop is the easiest of all assists to track. The pass is clearly thrown and the basket is clearly made because of it. But let's look at the definition of an assist for a moment. An assist is a pass that directly leads to a basket. This could be a pass to the low post that leads to a direct score, a long pass for a layup, a fast break pass to a teammate for a layup, and/or a pass that results in an open perimeter shot for a teammate. In basketball, an assist is awarded only if, in the judgment of the statistician, the last player's pass contributed directly to a made basket. An assist can be awarded for a basket scored and after the ball has been dribbled if the player's pass led to the field goal being made. I don't think there is a more vague definition of a stat, allowing so much interpretation as to have wild fluctuations on assist rates at home versus on the road. First, let's look at how many different types of assists there are. I identified 17 different types, and the first one is the simple perimeter pass for a layup, like this beautiful backdoor play. Or when a weak side screen is set, freeing up the cutter for a whip pass underneath, something the Spurs have been experts at creating for several seasons. This can also mean passes where the cutter has to do some sort of move, but the guideline that the pass must lead to the basket still applies. And you can see how the definition of an assist can get a little loose the more dribbles the player takes before shooting. But these all appear to be reasonable enough to credit the passer with the assist. While the mid-range is all but disappearing these days, there are still examples of perimeter passing that get good shooters open shots. And even if the player has to shot fake to find the open shot, the passer still deserves the credit for plays like this. Of course, the three ball is the most coveted shot after the layup, and creating an offense that gets passes for catch and shoot threes is at a premium these days. Most of these passes are without question the catch and shoot type and are not controversial at all. A key to a successful offense is to get deep penetration into the lane and dishing for layups and dunks, and another way to amass clear-cut assists. It's an easy play to make. Just find the open man whose defender helped off on you, and Gortat should give a portion of his paycheck to John Wall every month. Where the real money gets earned is when we get a penetration for a kick out from three-point land. With the most pressure on the defense and their very real fear of giving up a close shot, these threes tend to be of the highest quality when the angle of the pass is coming from the basket area. And if you can lure the help from one pass away, then you're almost guaranteed a wide open shot from behind the arc. There's also the stationary pass for a jumper, usually off of some sort of pin down where the passer simply waits for the right moment to deliver the ball. And with players like Korver, you tend to run your share of this kind of action, in essence giving everyone else a rest while he sprints to get open. Again, these aren't controversial assists since they tend to be catch and shoot, a clear-cut cause and effect. Transition is another crowd-pleasing category where we get a majority of our highlights as coaches have been prodding their teams to run faster since the beginning of the game. And there's nothing like a quick two-pass sequence without any dribbling to get a quick score and demoralize your opponent. And the Warriors are the team to look for if you want to see plenty of transition assists for layups. Few teams use the up-court pass as well as they do. But don't sleep on the Rockets, a team equally adept at finding the open man in a hurry off the pass. Turn the ball over against these teams, and they're moonballing the pass 70 feet in the air to a streaking cutter for a layup. But it ain't over if they don't throw it early. They fill lanes nicely and find the cutters with quick, accurate passes for more easy scores. And then there's the push the ball up the middle of the floor, find the open man on the wing who continues right to the basket for the layup. Again, with only one dribble taken, the assist still seems pretty clear for Kemba. Because of the newfound focus on the three-point shot, tons are now taken in transition, and plenty of assists are found here as well. And no team is better at this than the Warriors, where they avoid sprinting to the basket a lot of the time in favor of getting behind the line, where there are pull-up threes or a nice attack to the middle of the floor before finding shooters wide open in the corner that are almost layups to some of these guys. With the way the game is played today, without question, the need for a high basketball IQ is one of the most important things you need to develop into the best version of yourself. It's what separates the best players at every level. And the best place to raise your IQ and your skill is called Point Guard College. They have camps all around the country that teach you how to think the game. PGC is the only 4-in-1 camp experience in the basketball world, combining playmaking, thinking the game, leadership, and mindset training into a 5-day transformational experience for players. Point Guard College runs over 100 camps in 30 states, so find one nearest you and separate your game from your competition. Let's look at the pick and roll, and primarily the assist to the roll man for layups. Milos Teodosic is a Jedi master at this, as he knows exactly how long to hold on to the ball and, like a magician, wrap the pass around defenders for this layup. He can also lure the big man up and out of position, then finds athletes like DeAndre Jordan for the alley-oop finish. And you don't even need to have the screen set for him to find the slip to the rim with perfect timing, right on the money. The pick and roll has been used more and more to get open threes, and with positionless basketball, guys like Steph can be the roll man popping for the open shot. And the key skill for a stretch forward these days is the ability to pop into the open space and knock down the triple. When you merge the new fast-paced game with the old pick and roll, you get quick hitters like this pick and pop for three by Middleton from Giannis. The handoff assist is an oldie but a goodie and serves almost as a pick and roll when the receiver can turn the corner and get into the lane for the shot. Jokic and Harris has some real serious chemistry on the handoff, and it can get assists for close-in shots or for open jumpers. These get a little tricky since after the handoff here, Paul George has to do an awful lot of work on his own to get this shot off and in the basket. And then there are the times the receiver can stay on the same side of the ball handler to find the shot, almost like a flare cut. But these type of quick release when the defender goes underneath the handoff are automatic shot attempts for just about anyone in the league these days. So let's not forget the easy assists when the receiver can get immediately downhill once the handoff happens. And Van Vliet is well trained in the angles and spacing required to make these plays work. One of the last places we haven't spoken about yet is the post-up, both high and low. There are ways to get the mid-range assist from this area, but mostly this spot is reserved for a guy like Jokic to find all manner of cutters for easy shots and clear-cut assists for the big Serbian. But don't forget that LeBron gets a lot of his assists from the high post too. The Warriors have really utilized the low post as a hub to pass out of, and there are very few, if any, who have the passing ability of David West. Credit the Warriors' offense, but it was designed with his kind of skills in mind, and they get multiple cuts like this for obvious assists every game. And this serves to open up their outside game with skip passes to the perimeter for open looks from three. They're not the only ones leveraging the low post position for assists out top, as LaMarcus Aldridge gets plenty of low post touches. The aforementioned Jokic to Harris combo finds these shots as well from deep. And LeBron is the hub the entire Cavs offense revolves around, allowing him to post up whenever he wants, wait for the double, then carve up the defense with three-point dimes. So that brings us to the notion of what I call BS assists, the kind of stat stuffing that typically happens when a hometown statistician goes above and beyond the benefit of the doubt to credit a player with an assist. Remember, the definition is vague. All the pass has to do is lead to a score. No maximum amount of dribbles or time of possession by the shooter before he has to score the ball. Every single one of these plays was ruled an assist, and there are lots of motivations for pushing the boundary of what an assist is. Some teams are motivated to get huge stats for players to ensure their appearance on the highlight shows. Do you wonder if there's a pattern to which teams get more benefit from home cooking than the others? I looked at the assist percentage splits between playing at home and on the road to see who had the biggest discrepancy. While this by no means is definitive proof that the hometown stat guys are padding the assist numbers, by using the percentage of baskets made with an assist mitigates for typical cooler shooting on the road. And the real outliers in this category are the Hawks, Nuggets, Bulls, and Celtics. The following plays were all scored as assists for the passer, and as you can see, these are the types of plays where the flow of the play is interrupted before the shot occurs, or in transition the pass is thrown up ahead, but the offensive player still needs multiple dribbles and 45 feet to cover before scoring. Post-ups are an easy way to pad the passer's assist, since it's hard to argue the player did score down low and he did receive the pass, but to say the pass led to the basket is a complete and utter stretch of the imagination, wouldn't you say? Al Horford seems to be the recipient of some kind interpretations of the assist definition. And here's a prime example of a 4-dribble move that even has a hesitation from Smart before getting to the hole to score all on his own. Kyrie gets a loving spoonful of hometown soup on this credited assist, as Brown needs 3 dribbles and a total change in direction to get to the hoop for an almost impossible twisting layup on 2 defenders. The stats guys in the Garden definitely have one of the most liberal definitions of an assist, as Baines gets one after Smart has to take 3 dribbles and do a step back from behind the arc with a guy in his face. Over in Atlanta, another example of a handoff that leads to 2 dribbles and then a jump shot on the other side of the court. On this kickout, Prince pauses, then shot fakes, then drives to the basket, seemingly without the benefit of being set up by the pass. In Denver, Gary Harris gets the ball on top and it looked promising, but then he has to drive into the teeth of the defense and perform a nice Euro step into a reverse, hardly the result of catching that pass 25 feet from the hoop. The handoff seems to be another place where scorers feel the opportunity to get loose. Had Murray simply went up with this on the catch, fine, but he dribbles 3 times, then steps back into the 18-footer. Maybe he gets the assist because of his screen? And I get passing the ball up to the wing on a fast break is an important part of getting a basket, but when Barton has to take 3 dribbles, then spin, then toss up the floater under duress, well, I say BS. Just throwing the ball to a guy then having him score a few seconds later does not and should not constitute an assist. And yet, every night, each team is getting a different set of eyes arbitrarily judging these plays. And it's hard to imagine that these 4 teams are playing so completely different on the road versus at home that we'd see their assist percentage go up so much in front of their own fans. A good argument against this is that teams would have an incentive to keep the assist totals lower to avoid paying more for contracts that have incentives for assists, but the fact remains that we have a serious problem and that the definition of an assist must be focused and tighter, so we no longer have even the whisper of hometown cooking. While you might think an extra assist or 2 every once in a while doesn't do much over an entire season, it could misrepresent a player's value in significant ways, and with the way we're moving towards deeper and deeper analytics, we owe it to the game to make this stat a more deserving one. Sports fans, to see more of our great NBA content and analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell and adjust your settings so you can get an alert the second our videos drop, because trust me, you're going to want them hot and fresh. You in?